Hare Krishna. Continuing Valmiki's Ramayana, Balakanda, Chapter 9, Vishwamitra and the Young Princes. Vishwamitra walked in front, and he was followed by Rama with a bow in his hand, with a sword at his waist, and quivers fastened to his shoulders. Attired similarly, Lakshmana walked just behind Rama, and the citizens saw with their eyes wide with wonder at the beautiful spectacle, the rishi like a sacrificial fire, and the two young men like smokeless flames leaping out of it. They looked like five-headed serpents, accoutred as they were for fighting. Several thought of the Ashvini twins following Brahma when they saw the two princes walking behind the sage. Their fingers were protected by guards made of skin, and their scabbards, which had been set with precious stones, gleamed in the sunlight. Soon they reached the banks of the river Sarayu, the southern side of it. There, in a very sweet voice, Vishwamitra called out, "Rama!" There was a wealth of affection behind it. He said, "Child, fill your palms with water. I will teach you the mantras Bala and Ati Bala. Once you know them, neither hunger nor fatigue nor thirst will trouble you while walking with me, and there will be no trace of tiredness bothering you when you walk this long distance to the ashram. You will not be at a disadvantage if the Rakshasas should accost you when you are tired. Rama, I know there is no one on the face of this earth to equal you in prowess, in bravery, in all the many qualities that make up an ideal kshatriya. Why, even in the three worlds, I am yet to see the like of you. There is no one to equal you in handsomeness, in skill, in wisdom, in the art of conversing with people. Fortunate indeed is Dasarata to have you as his son, and I am fortunate too that you will be with me constantly for a while. As for these mantras, Bala and Ati Bala, they will make you respected by everyone in all the three worlds. They are the daughters of Brahma. I know that only you are worthy of learning them. Listen to me carefully and learn the mantras." Rama touched water and meditated on the Lord with great humility. He then learnt the mantras from the rishi. Rama looked more powerful than ever after his initiation into the mantras. The young men then paid their respects to the great man, as was the custom, and they proceeded to make the preparations to spend the night on the banks of Sarayu. They spread dried grass and leaves on the ground, and after seeing to the comforts of Vishwamitra, the royal son spent the night comfortably on the beds to which they were not accustomed. When the night waned into daylight, Vishwamitra approached Rama, who was still asleep, and paused for a while to drink with his eyes the beauty of Rama. He then said, "Rama, Kaushalya's beloved child, the first Sandhya is approaching. Rouse thyself from sleep and perform the morning ablutions." The princes got up at once, bathed in the waters of the river, and offered arghya to the sun standing in the waters. They then approached the rishi and prostrated before him. They began to walk again in pursuit of the journey. They reached the spot where the Sarayu joined the divine river Ganga. They looked at the glorious sight with wonderment in their eyes. They saw there several ashrams, and the rishis were bent on tapas. The princes approached Vishwamitra and asked him, "Whose ashram is this holy place? Who dwells here? Please tell us." A gentle smile lit up the face of Vishwamitra when he saw the eagerness of the young men, and he said, "I will tell you how this ashram came into existence. Eons of time have passed since then. But then there was a time when Kama, the god of love, had a form and features. Once Lord Mahadev was performing tapas here. He had lost his wife Sati, and with his mind filled with anger and sorrow, he came here all alone and was absorbed in meditation. Parvati, the daughter of Himavan, was serving him. The Devas were desirous that he should wed her, since Parvati was Sati, born again as the daughter of Himavan. The gods had been told that the son born of them would be the commander of the army of the Devas. Indra asked Kama to go to the neighborhood of the spot where Mahadev was, and he was asked to aim his arrows at the Lord. When Parvati was standing before Mahadev, he had just opened his eyes, and Kama thought it was the opportune moment to shoot his arrows made of flowers. The Lord was hit, and he turned to see who had the audacity to do this, and his eyes lighted on Kama. Mahadev was furious, and he opened his third eye, the eye of Agni, and burnt Kama. Kamadev was from then without a form, and is now famed as Ananga, the formless one. The spot where his ashes were wafted to is known as the country Anga. As for this ashram, you must have guessed that this is the spot where Kama was burnt to ashes, and these rishis are all disciples of Mahadev. It is rightly named Kama Ashram. Let me take you to the rishis there. They will be pleased to see you both, and they will bless you. In the place where the two holy rivers become one, let us spend the night, and we will cross the Ganga tomorrow. After purifying ourselves, we will enter the ashram. The rishis, who knew all that had happened in the past and who could look into the future beyond the veil of time, knew who had come to their ashrams and were immensely pleased. They welcomed Vishwamitra with great affection, and they were thrilled to see the young men who were so humble and so gentle in their speech and in their conduct. The guests spent a happy time in the Kama ashram with the rishis, and Vishwamitra entertained them with stories about the many spots which they were to visit. Thus ends chapter 9 of the Balakanda, Vishwamitra and the young princes.